And good morning. Well, as all of you know, going from Tier 8 to Tier 9 is a long and laborious process. So we are going to be flying the P-51H and seeing if we can't make some progress toward that and not make a total ass out of myself for the video, but I've been known to do it before.
Show me what you can do, pilot. Let's roll.
So what kind of position we get? Mostly 7s, a few 8s. And of course we're heading straight for the thing that matters the least.
Be advised, the enemy is concentrating forces near the airfield.
Alright, so we got a significant altitude advantage, and the guns take forever to overheat, and I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to boom and zoom in, bleed off some speed here, into a tight turn, and come back around for a second pass. And watch the guy blast himself up against the... And what the S key, you'll get very familiar with the S key if you haven't flown the P-51 before. It is a very quick aircraft and tends to overrun things. Alright, and I'm coming to this low and slow, which is exactly what I don't want to do. And now I'm looking for things doing just what he's doing. And he knows I overran him very quickly. Thank you very much. Now if you're an attorney fighter like the Yak 3, do not try to run away from a P-51. You turn into him and you try to involve him in a tail chase. And if you can get him to buy into it, you can kill him. If you can't, well, it gets a little tougher, doesn't it? Alright, here's an I-220, another fairly quick aircraft. And what we got here? Focke-Wulf 190. Now, it's got a lot of firepower. Got decent speed, can't turn with a crap. Nor does it have much altitude capability. And that thing, that big flying pancake, you've seen me fly this before. Dangerous doesn't begin to describe it. As a boom and zoomer, it's pretty first rate. Now, my target selection has a lot more to do with what I can actually put guns on real quick than it does anything else right now. But what I really want is this F7F, another killer boom and zoomer. And the boomer zoomers in a P-51 are where you want to focus your efforts at, because they can absolutely dominate a game left alone. It is not so good at taking on bombers with real good tail guns. And that fellow made a mistake. He may have been a bot for all I know. He should have got on his tail guns and really let me have it. But anything that's not very maneuverable and relying on boom and zoom is your meat. And you notice I'm already overrunning the guy. I'm having to do some pretty weird maneuvers to get him back underneath my sights. So speed management, especially when you deal with slower aircraft, and most of them will be slower, though not all of them, is going to be awfully important to you. So I am specifically really interested in going after high-speed maneuvering aircraft. In this case, I'll be forced to go deal with the Yak 3 again because I can't have that thing on my tail.
Hang in there. You'll soon be cut off from support. I say again, support will not be available.
As much as I would have preferred to go after the F-7F.
Large enemy force spotted over the
I got a
airfield.
little boost, very little.
We cannot support you any longer. The storm is
Alright, here's our P-47N. And we're getting to Endgame where every aircraft you kill goes away permanently, which I love. I'd really like not to get rammed at this point in the game since being croaked tends to be permanent. At least for the duration of the game, anyway. And I want to win the game. Yes, I am funny like that.
victory is almost ours.
Okay. I guess it's Yak 3 day. Okay, got him in a head-on pass.
Our military base is launching strikes on the enemy. This will make things easier for you.
And you'll often hear me complain about the lack of good guns in the P-51H. It's not that they're not good, it's that they're short-ranged. we got a McCampbell. I wonder what that's about. McCampbell was an ace for the Navy in World War II, and he was flying Hellcats. Okay, so we destroyed 13 targets, assisted with 6 more, captured 1 sector, capture points earned in defense 240, so a pretty good game. Even got a token out of it. And team score came in number 1. And hats off to Emulon and that guy 583. All did very, very, very good jobs. And Gregory, I believe, is a bot. Not certain of that, and apologies if I've got it wrong. The other team had a rough time. All right, enough of that said. The P-51, when it's not facing jet competition, is a very, very, very worthy opponent in the game. It always will be. It's extremely fast. And if you look at where it hurts the most is in the 650 calibers. You go look at the upgrades here. You're doing 65 times 6. So whatever that's going to be. 330 or 390, I should say, right around that area. But where it hurts at is in the range, 1837, when everything else in the game is running, 19 to 2650. That hurts. And there was a reason for it. The U.S. didn't have a 20 millimeter that worked all that well, and they could get them working, but they had to have some sort of recock availability because the primer got struck too lightly. And of all things, you'd think that would be fairly easy to cure, but but they never really could get the Hispano-Suiza guns to work correctly. And all the way through the Mark 12, they were having problems with feeds and hard maneuvering, and that went up through the Korean War and Vietnam War with Crusader. They were still having issues with it with the Mark 12, which was, there was a Mark 1, there was a Mark 2, there was a Mark 3, there was a Mark 12, and the Mark 12 worked much better than the other two. But they still weren't all that satisfied until the U.S. came out with the M39 and the M61, both of which are in the game, very late game, unfortunately. Well, you see it actually in the XF5U. Wow, what a weapon. A quartet of those would give you, just get all the way out to 26, 25, and they hit very hard. And you've seen my videos on them. Very, very hard, fast aircraft. But what this gives you in a package is a 10-second turn time, which is not bad. The survivability is pretty poor, but that's not a lot better than most of the single-engine fighters out there. And when you look at the airspeed, 484, and especially the dive speed, you can get yourself out of a lot of trouble if you don't get sucked into trying to turn and burn with turn and burn fighters. You can be overrun by a few aircraft, and they're out there. That TA-152 is an awfully quick aircraft. The XF5U is faster, though it doesn't turn as well, but it's got much better guns, which means it can reach out and kill you. So you really got to watch that thing. Get out of its line of fire, or you won't last very long. But overall, as you can tell, it's still one very, very effective package. Very few things can run away from you. There's going to be a few. The I-250 is every bit your equal in turning, and it's faster. Yeah, that's for all intents and purposes, it was a prototype that never got beyond a few models that were actually created and then dropped. Its value historically is it was one of the predecessors to discovering jet engines, how they worked, and what would work best on the way to the MiG-15 and the LA-15. But still, a very good aircraft. Very enjoyable, easy to get kills in, and a lot of fun. Just be selective in how you employ it. All right. And you can see we're coming right along with the next goal for me is to get the Marksman 2 on this. Though this also is very attractive to me. So I'll have to make a decision with that, which I think is more important. I'm kind of, the more that I think about it, leaning towards this because the initial 40% on polished surfaces, aircraft polish, lightweight airframe, and control surfaces are all stuff that I use with this aircraft. Honestly, putting hits on another aircraft isn't particularly tough with this aircraft because it's spitting out so many rounds that if you can tell just by the flashes and where the flashes are hitting how to adjust. In fact, I think I just talked myself into it. In fact, I did just talk myself into it. So that takes care of that. Okay, so all in all, it's one of the aircraft you just kind of have to get. I mean, it can be a joyous aircraft to play, and as you saw, an awful lot of fun. Okay, folks, that's going to wrap it up. Remember to like the video and to subscribe. I need all the subscribers I can get. You have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.